Welcome to the Poisoner's Cabinet. I'm Sinead.
And I'm Nick.
And this is your weekly podcast exploring the lives of the great poisoners, macabre murders, and captivating crimes from across the centuries, and creating curious cocktails inspired by the tales that we tell. And it's episode 239.
Yes, it is.
Oh, so close to the 40s.
So close to the 40s.
So close. Ooh, we're racing through them, and so forth.
And so forth.
And so forth. How are you, Nick?
I'm alright.
Yes, we're all right.
I've had quite a large drink, so that's helping.
Perfect. Pre-cocktail cocktail. Mm-hmm. Nick is on the Negronis.
Gone down the street.
Yeah, you had a glass of fizz left in the fridge that I was allowed to have.
You were allowed to have that.
I was allowed to have that.
Yes.
It was very nice.
Privileged you were.
We're ready and raring to go. Any poisonings this week?
No.
No.
Don't believe so.
No, not that you know of.
Not that I'm aware.
The weather is poisoning us. It's showing some sunshine, but still
Well,
it's so
exactly,
deathly
there's
cold.
sunshine. There's sunshine.
Yeah.
And I walk home and it's sunny.
That is nice.
It's nice.
It's
nice.
joyous. We do mention this on Patreon, and then our various patrons go, you do realise it's like minus such and such wherever we are covered in snow.
It's not the same.
But then when a couple of people are just swilling their drink going, just sitting outside on a balmy summer's day in Australia.
It'll be winter soon.
Yeah, then you'll suffer. Hopefully not, though. It's lovely out there. We love Australia. Well, speaking of suffering, but not really, and in the sunshine, I think it's time for us to thank our delicious Patreon subscribers.
Most certainly. So this week we must say thank you very much to Victoria Skelly,
To Metal Cat.
to Radical,
To Atomic Murphy.
to Angela Aguilar.
And lastly, to Crochet Witchery.
Like that.
Crocheting
Marvellous.
is witchery. I don't know how to do it. It's hooks, isn't it?
It's hooks.
It's
Involves
hooks
a,
and-
a singular hook.
Oh, just one.
There's one hook.
What do you do with the other hand?
Hold the thread or hold the yarn.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
I really was convinced it was two hooks.
No, that's
that you were
that's
just going
knitting.
at it.
That's knitting has
Well,
two needles.
Yeah, I don't understand crochet.
Crochet has a singular hook.
Just one hook. Oh, that's disturbing.
There are probably some advanced crochets that do two hooks or three hooks or four hooks.
Or four hooks in one hand. And ploughing at the same
ploughing,
time.
yeah.
Very good.
Well, you do 4 needles on your knitting.
That's again witchcraft.
Yeah.
Well,
Feels quite fancy.
I'm sure. Have you done that?
Yeah,
Can you knit?
I can.
You can knit, can't you? You can do everything. With...
I can. There's nothing I can't do.
We'll find out. But thank you, delicious, sexy Patreon subscribers. We had fun on Patreon this week.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I had a story. It was another story from the archives of the Newgate calendar.
Yes, it was.
Of a lady accused of petty treason.
Petty treason.
Petty treason, which was a big crime with a big punishment.
And burned alive is quite a punishment.
Being burned alive. It was quite a good oldie-worldy one.
Like it.
Yeah, interesting. If you want to know what the hell we're talking about, please do consider joining us on patreon.com/The Poisoner's Cabinet, where you get bags of bonus content from us. You get an extra episode every single week. You get behind-the-scenes chat. You get some video content on there. We have a regular book club. We have a higher tier for our cyanide connoisseurs, where you get a gift pack, our monthly PC Morris episode, and our regular After Dark warm-up chats. And this week's After Dark warm-up chat, I don't think we've laughed as much that hard
It was pretty good.
in a long time. Just listen.
It's excellent.
Cyanide connoisseurs, you're in for a treat this week because it got unhinged. Yeah, as it often does on there. Patreon is a great way to support the show, to support us, to keep us doing what we're doing, and we love to reward you with loads of extra things on there.
Yes, we do.
This is also a good time for us to say, if you don't already, please follow us on social media. We're predominantly most active on Instagram, also on TikTok, where we do more video content, and we have a YouTube channel where you can listen to all of the episodes. We occasionally put up shorts as well and more content there. So do go and follow us there. That also helps us a great deal.
And breathe.
Well, look, are you ready
Probably.
to drink cocktails and talk about poison?
Probably.
Or we could drink poison and talk about cocktails.
Okay.
We could do that.
So many options.
There's so many options. I feel like more drinking.
I'm in that mood too.
In the mood to get feral.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. All right, let's go with the first one. Hooray, hooray, hooray. It is Nick's story this week, and we can't possibly have a story without a cocktail in hand. As you know, dear listeners, every week we choose a secret ingredient that is inspired by the tale that we tell, and it will flavour our cocktail of the week. Nick, this week's secret ingredient is...
The terrifying fever.
a fever.
A fever.
Oh, no.
Oh, a shivery fever.
Someone has taken to their bed
They have indeed with a thermometer.
with a thermometer to have a good time.
To know they've got a fever.
Yes, they've got a fever. And then they go, oh, no. Well, that's what you do when you find out you have a fever.
Oh, no.
You don't go woohoo. Well, unless you want to skip work.
Oh, exactly.
But if you've got a fever, you're not really going woohoo about anything. Oh, fevers are horrible.
Not fun.
You always think like, oh, have I got a fever? You bloody well know when you've got a fever. Yeah.
Not fun at all.
Ew. Oh, well, this bodes well for the story, but I fear for the cocktail.
Yes.
Yes, because germs, maybe.
Germs, mainly germs.
Just going to give us flu in a glass.
Yes.
Well, with fever as the ingredient, the inspiration,
Yes.
what have you come up with?
What are you going to have? Giving me fever.
A what?
Giving me fever.
Giving me fever.
Yes.
Oh, giving me fever.
Giving me fever.
Oh, sorry. Right. I was like, giving me fever.
That's why I said it in a speedy sort of way.
Oh, you're giving me fever.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, like the song.
Like the song.
Like the song.
Like the song.
By
Singers.
who did Fever? It's not Roberta Flack. It's oh, that's gonna bug me. I will guess it.
The Bee Gees.
Oh, Night Fever.
That's Night Fever.
That's Night Fever.
That's
No, we're not doing Night
That's
Fever.
a different fever.
Day nurse, night nurse. Yes.
That's a
You
different
give
type
me
of fever. Give me fever.
You give me fever. Dum,
Yeah.
dum, dum.
That one.
That woman. Yes. Lovely. Okay. Sounds fun.
Yeah, we're having one of them.
Having one of those. Well, I think it is high time for us to sashay into the Poisonous Cabinet kitchen and shake up a storm. So we'll see you in a minute.
We'll see you in a bit.
Peggy Lee. And we're back.
Hello.
So, Nick, give me
Yes.
fever.
Give me fever.
Give me fever.
Give me fever.
It looks weird.
Why is it all weird?
I don't know. It's got, well, it's paley. Is it fizzy? It's got fizzy, something fizzy in it. What is that? What colour is it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, my flat is designed for moody lighting. It's not good for actual identifying colours.
No, I know, because over there it was like, oh, does it look blue? But I think that was just my screen. And now it's like, it's yellow over here. I don't know.
There is a hint of blue.
Oh, is there? Oh, it's not just the screen.
No.
Oh, yeah. If I hold it up to the light. Oh, that is
So,
quite.
yeah.
Ooh.
So there is
pale and interesting.
Yeah, there's a variety of colours.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, fragrant. Fragrant. All right. Well, let's dive in, I guess.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Okay. I don't mind that. What is that? Heh.
Now, I've had to make one substitution in this that which I didn't think was going to make as much of an impact as it has done.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'll tell you that now.
Okay. So you made a substitution. Was it instead of alcohol you put in cheese?
How did you guess?
Okay. Is there tonic water in this?
Well, there is a wee bit of tonic water.
Yes, because you bought tonic water.
Because I said I need to buy tonic water.
And
yeah.
also I heard you fizzing something open.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, not much. I mean, a fraction of an
Yeah.
ounce. But just something in the just goes in the top.
I don't mind that because I like the
Yeah.
taste of tonic. Okay, so citrus in there. Is it lime or lemon or lime? One of those?
Bit of both.
Oh, both.
Bit of both.
Oh, okay. So lemon and lime.
Yeah.
What else?
There are
With the-
other things.
Other things. Gin?
Yes, there's some gin.
Some gin. Right. So we got a nice gin and tonic going on.
Yeah.
But it's not as tonic-y, and there's other things.
There are other things.
Where's that flavour? What is it? It's something perfumey. Is it floral?
There is a floral thing going on.
Oh, is there?
Mm-hmm.
Triple sec? No.
There is
fruity.
triple sec.
Oh,
Which is fruity.
Oh.
And there's also something separate, which is floral.
Right, I didn't actually mean triple sec.
Well, there is triple- there is triple sec
I'm
in
on a roll. Right, how many more things though? Is it just that?
Two more things.
Two more. With the colour, is that violet?
It is violet.
I'm so good at everything.
Now, the recipe calls for lavender.
Lavender.
I don't have lavender, so
No.
I swapped it for violet. Thinking
Yeah.
they are both equally old ladyish.
I admire your way of thinking,
So that's
sir.
why, yeah. I mean, so it's a very small amount, but the violet really comes through. I mean, it's a strong flavour. One I personally I really enjoy. I love
Yes, you do, because it's not. To me, it's not terribly strong, but it is reminiscent
it's
of
definitely
the.
there.
What's the one that you like with violet in it? Was
The
it
aviation.
the aviation? That's it. Yeah, it's reminiscent of that. That's what I was thinking, kind of as bluey. And I'm not a fan of lavender in drinks. It's a bit overpowering. Okay, one more thing.
One more thing.
Well, what?
I'd be surprised if you guess it. I'm not getting much of it on through.
Is it alcohol?
It is alcohol, yeah.
Rum?
Nope.
Whiskey?
Nope.
Tequila?
Close.
Mezcal?
Mezcal.
Mezcal?
Yeah.
Mezcal?
Which I'm not getting at all.
No,
in
I'm
this.
not.
But so I've never owned lavender liqueur or anything, so I might have to get a bottle to see if it is as strong as the violet stuff.
Because
The
violet's quite
is
overpowering.
potent, which I think is masking a lot of the other things in there. So I'd be interested to see if a lavender is quite as similarly
It's delicate.
oomphy or if it is more subtle.
I don't know.
So
I've had lavender cocktails and it's just been a bit of like, "Ugh, I'm eating soap. Drinking soap. I've got soap on my face. Yeah,
There's
maybe I was
soap
just
everywhere.
drinking soap. I don't know. So it's not dissimilar from an aviation. I don't know what's different in an
Well,
aviation.
aviation is gin, lemon, maraschino, and violet. The mezcal is getting lost on me
No, not getting any of that.
on this one.
It's it's not a bad one at all.
Yep.
I just am surprised at the sheer number of ingredients in there, because all I'm really getting is like an aviation for me, but I don't drink them that much. I just kind of getting gin and lemony, violet.
And it's one of the ones that got lime and lemon. Do you need lime and lemon?
No, I don't
And
think you do.
it's like-
It's fine, though. It's fine. It just feels like several things are wasted and they didn't need to be in there. But I'll drink it. It's like someone insisting, oh, this is so fancy. And you go, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, you didn't need to put all that other stuff in there.
Aviation.
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 Oh, let's do that later. Let's have cherries. Yay. Okay, well, with the give me fever. Give me fever. It's not giving me fever.
It's not giving me a fever.
It's giving me a
unfortunately.
mild cold. And like, whoo, yes, no, not really.
No.
With the giving me fever, sort in hand.
Ish, hand adjacent.
We'll drink it.
It'll be gone very soon.
Yeah, we're not dragging it. Is it time for a story?
It is definitely time for a story. And hurrah.
Hooray, hooray,
Hooray,
hurrah.
hooray, hurrah.
There was much rejoicing.
There was huge amounts of rejoicing. And we are going back to our roots today with a good old classic poisoning. And one I am very surprised we haven't done,
Okay.
which someone will tell me we have done, that I have completely blocked out.
But-
But I have checked. I've put in the various varieties of surname into
Right.
Patreon and nothing comes up.
Yes.
We have done this person.
You've triple checked and
So I've
triplicate.
triple checked, so I don't think we have, but maybe.
You don't say you don't think we have.
No,
Just say we haven't.
We haven't. We haven't done
Right.
it. We haven't. This is the story today of... Now,
Right.
there is...
Immediately.
okay.
What?
Lyda.
Lyda.
Lyda. L-Y-D-A. Now, some
Lyda.
resources say it's Lydia. L-Y-D-I-A. Others say L-Y-D-A. Lyda.
What would you like to call her today?
Lydia is easier.
Lydia? Oh,
Is
Lydia.
easier to say.
Tattooed lady.
But the majority of things I've seen say Lyda.
Want
Is
to
that
call
how
her
you pronounce
Lyda?
Lyda? L-Y-D-A?
I've never seen that before.
So no.
Lyda.
So...
Lyda is
Lyda.
Lyda. Yeah,
So we're
Lyda
with Lyda.
Rose. I'm home again. Rose.
So we're going with
da-da-da.
Lyda. Some people say Lydia. We're going with Lyda. So Lyda Southard.
Southard.
Lyda Southard. Or Southard.
Southard.
Depending on how you're pronouncing these things.
Well, correctly would be Southard. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I said Southard.
Or Southard. If you want to
Southard.
absolutely balls it up, it's a few ways.
Now, she is also known as Lydia Trueblood
True blood.
in some places.
Ooh, nice.
And I have no idea where that name comes from.
Okay.
It's not a surname that is associated with her through like marriage or maiden name or anything like that. Some people say it's a maiden name, but her maiden name is also listed as Keller.
Oh.
So I suspect it may have been a media invention because Trueblood, it's a very dramatic surname.
It is, yes. It is
So-
quite drama heavy.
Yeah, so I think potentially it was a media thing that people misinterpreted or just went, oh, that's her name. Because like
Fuck it, we'll
researchers
call her
are.
that. We'll call her that.
But we're going to go with Southard. Lyda Southard. So to begin at the beginning
Yes. Right.
with Lyda Keller.
Right.
Born Lyda Keller. 16th of October, 1892.
Oh, nice. Nice.
In Kettsville in Missouri.
Missouri.
Kettsville, Missouri. This is around 60 miles from Kansas City, northwest of Kansas City.
Yeah.
She was the third of 11 children. So
Jesus.
a big old family. Now,
10 siblings.
yeah, 10 siblings. So, yeah, they are a devout, hard-working, church-going,
Shagging.
family. And, yeah, they tend the land and they till the soil and do hard-working, that sort of thing.
They grow nothing.
They grow nothing.
They don't know what they're doing,
They
but-
just plough, constantly plough. We haven't got to the seeding or the reaping or the sowing. We just constantly
Just
ploughing.
ploughing and tilling and digging. Because then they have to down tools and have sex again.
We need the children for more ploughing.
More ploughing.
We can't afford an ox.
Traditional old values. Love it.
Well, exactly. No, so I mean, her childhood is, to all appearances, entirely average. There's nothing to suggest that it wasn't anything other than entirely normal.
So is much known about her childhood?
Not
or-
very little. Well,
Not much.
not yeah, she had a childhood.
She
and it
she
was
had
fine.
one. Yeah. And it was fine.
She was described as a friendly and popular young girl who grew into an attractive and charming young woman.
Very nice.
While working the land.
Well, that's the best kind.
Yeah, exactly. Now the Kellers, they were quite close and chummy with their closest neighbours, the Dooleys. Who had a farm over that way yonder.
Oh, stop talking in old speak, you. That way yonder.
That way yonder over there.
The Dooleys are looking at me each day going, they are shit at farming. How are your carrots coming in? Considerably better than yours.
Over time, Lyda becomes quite enamoured with one of the Dooley's sons, a young chap called Robert. And he, in turn, falls quite hard for this. Yeah, Lydia's, she's described as sparkling blue eyes. She's got flame red hair.
Oh,
quite a stunning young woman. And Robert is equally smitten with Lyda. When she's approaching her late teens, around about 18, 19 at this point, the family decide to move from Missouri to Idaho, to a little town called Twin Falls. And there they buy more land and they continue ploughing, not planting anything, just ploughing.
I like Twin Falls. It sounds like a murder mystery kind of place. Yeah.
So they move there. Now, dear old Robert Dooley is heartbroken at the thought of his beloved Lyda leaving. So he entreats his parents, let me go to Twin Falls. I want to be with Lydia. And the parents reluctantly sort of, okay, fine. Go. They give him a substantial amount of money that he can buy his own property.
Oh, nice.
In one condition. You have to take your brother Edward with you.
Nice.
So the two of you...
Sorry. That does sound like they were like, he wants to go going, please take Edward. We can't stand him.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if like Edward was the sensible one, so he was to be there and be like responsible and adultish.
Yeah, maybe.
Or,
yeah.
Or was the younger one that needed like guidance and stuff.
I'm sure it was like take him out into the world and like do something and everything. I just like to picture them going, he's fucking annoying.
Yes.
Yeah. We hate him.
To him to go. So,
any excuse to ship him out.
Yeah. So take Edward, and you can have this money.
Come back.
And you can go. So Robert says yes, absolutely fine.
Brilliant.
So Robert and Edward, they go off in pursuit of fortune and Lyda over in Twin Falls.
Lovely.
Now, thankfully, Lyda was quite pleased when Robert turns up.
Yes.
He rocks up a few months later and she goes, it's you!
It's you,
what are
sexy
you
man.
doing here? I've come to live here too. And thankfully, it goes well. She doesn't go, fuck off.
Yeah. Well, she's moved to a new place. Yeah. New neighbours.
And so, thankfully, they continue their sort of like courtship.
Oh.
And in March 1912, Lyda is 19 years old and she and Robert are married.
Wonderful. Magical.
Yeah, it's a delightful thing. They set up house at Robert's new ranch and along with, brother-in-law Edward, everything is entirely splendid. They're making a good go at the ranch. And in 1914, the couple have a daughter, a little one called Lorraine. Lorraine comes along in 1914.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so now everything appears to be going great guns for the Dooley family. The ranch is a success, but they're not making huge amounts of cash, but enough to get by and enough for the occasional nice thing, and enough to pay what they need to.
Isn't that all anyone wants?
Well, exactly. You don't want much.
Comfortable.
Enough to survive and be comfortable and not be hungry. That's fantastic. But then one day, Lyda has a terrible thought.
Oh no!
Terrible thought. What if something should happen to Robert or to his brother Edward? Without either of them, the ranch would surely fail, and then. No more treats for me. No more treats and lovely things then. What would happen? What would happen? Now, Lyda tells Robert and Edward of her fears, of her concerns about being so dependent on them being able-bodied and well and stuff like that. What if, God forbid, the unthinkable should happen? What would happen to her and poor Lorraine?
Yes,
the little one.
Yes,
Don't
exactly.
forget about little Lorraine.
There are responsibilities, and you do live like hand to mouth there, and it's if you're laid up, then that's your livelihood.
Yeah. Now the brothers try to assure her the best they can that she need not get herself so worked up. They are both in fighting fit health. All is well. The ranch was doing successfully, but no, she said, "What if it's a terrible accident?
Yeah, but it's true.
What is it awful? What if you get struck down by the evil flu?" What if bandits run through and shoot everyone? Just
bandits with flu.
Bandits with flu guns. So
Please let her be saying this and him just getting her by the shoulders going, Stop. What? Who's drawing sketches of flu guns in the background? These is what they will bring.
They agree. Okay, we will get some life insurance policies drawn up just for peace of mind. Well, like these ones here. says Lyda as she produces these documents.
Flips around her diagrams. Here we are.
Well, just like these. I happen to have these.
I just happen to have these on my person. Oh,
I knew you'd do the right thing for our family by suggesting such a thing. Please sign here.
Looking at it through a modern lens, Perfectly sensible.
reasonable.
Wouldn't you? That's the first thing I did when I got married. You're fucking signing a life insurance policy.
Exactly. Perfectly
In hindsight,
reasonable.
I shouldn't have started this podcast afterwards.
Yeah. Now, both policies state that in the event of either brother's death, then $1,000 will be paid to the remaining brother, and an additional $1,000 will be paid to Lyda.
Fair enough.
So yeah. So even if the brother-in-law dies, Lyda still gets a payout.
Well, he's part of the...
Well, he's part of the
he's
team.
living there.
He's living there, absolutely. So yeah, he's not for his own family,
And everyone hates him
so,
as well.
Yeah, so no, indeed. Yeah, and should the very worst occur and both brothers die, then the full amount, of course, would go to Lyda.
Yeah, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Who would think otherwise? Now, please, that is all arranged, and this safety net has been put into place. The brothers go on with their lives, not thinking anything further of it. Really,
You would hope that they would.
yeah. So they don't pay the documents sitting on the desk. Pay
No
them no more
heed.
mind, no more mind at all, and everything seems to be ticking along perfectly lovely until a series of unimaginable tragedies hit the Dooley family.
Surely not.
Unimaginable to everyone apart from one person. In August 1915, Edward falls suddenly horribly ill.
Horribly.
And after only a few days of incredibly painful illness, he's suffering from debilitating nausea, cramps.
Really?
Yeah, I know. It's bizarre.
That's
it's
so
bizarre
strange.
stuff. Yeah.
Wonder what that could be.
Yeah, I mean, he dies. He dies. He succumbs to this illness. The doctors, to begin with, a bit of a loss about what's going on here. There's been nothing
Really?
going round at all until Lyda explains that the morning before Edward had fallen ill, she had seen him eating salmon from an open can, and she knew, well, that can's been open a few days.
The salmon.
It is literally the salmon mousse.
I feel like we've made this gag before. This is what's making
many
me
times.
really, really frightened that we've done this story.
I'm sure we haven't.
I'm sure we haven't.
I know we haven't.
I know we haven't.
If we
we're
have,
doing
then
it
we're
again
fucked.
anyway, guys. We're doing it anyway. Oh, he was eating canned salmon, was he?
Canned salmon. I mean, yes. I mean, so obviously the doctor goes, "Oh, well, that explains it then."
Oh, well,
Oh.
absolutely.
Oh, of course, of course. So Edward's death is ruled, and this also varies between reports. It's either typhoid fever,
Of course, yeah, very vomity.
or potomine poisoning.
With who and the what now?
Now, but yeah, I had not heard of this one before.
No.
So
Is it a new poisoning?
It is a potomine poisoning.
Ring the bells. Light the beacons.
It was a catch-all sort of phrase used at the end of the 19th century that quickly went out of fashion for contaminated food.
Right, food poisoning.
So, basically food poisoning, and it comes about from bacteria growing in contaminated food, and it was given this sort of generalised term of potomine poisoning. And it comes from the Greek for cadaver.
Right.
So
Dead body poisoning.
Potomo, or I think is again, my pronunciation is not good.
Yes, and my Greek is non-existent, Nick.
Is like cadaver or corpse in Greek, and so potomine
I
poisoning
trust
comes
you
from
completely.
This sort of the idea that these evil germs from contaminated dead things have made it into the food. Blah 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 blah.
This is nice.
So that's where it comes from.
I like it. I like it. So he'd been eating canned salmon.
So he'd been eating canned salmon, which
And then
had
he got
obviously
the
been
food
contaminated,
poisoning.
and so he got the food poisoning, and he died horribly.
Oh yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Or it could have been typhoid fever.
Or he could have been typhoid.
Or it could have been typhoid. We're not sure. One of the two.
Legitimate.
Legitimate
Both of those,
possibilities,
Typhoid,
absolutely.
and also if you'd been eating tinned fish,
Yep.
then you would
So
be
been
like,
open for a few days.
yeah.
Not fresh tin fish, as it were, but opened a few days for tin
Who
fish.
opens their tinned fish and leaves it out?
Well, I don't know.
Did he? Well, she's saying that.
She is saying this.
Lies.
So yeah, who can say?
I just want it to be nice and warm in the sun.
Yes, put it out in the sun. I want it to be nice and
Yeah, covered in flies.
yeah.
Right. Okay. Oh dear. Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
fucking did.
he did. Now Robert, obviously his brother, is grieving for the loss of his dear brother. Lyda,
The rest of the family are like, good.
Lyda sidles up to the desk and goes, "I'm just going shopping." And yes, absolutely, she presents the policy to the insurance company, and of course, it is dutifully paid out.
Good for
Robert
her.
and Lyda each receive $1,000. Now that's $1,000 is a lot of money.
That's a lot of
That will keep a sort of conservative, non-extravagant family going for quite some time.
Exactly. I said good for her just now. I don't mean that, by the way. But also, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah. So they could have been kept going quite comfortably for a long time on this payout. And also Robert is still around to work.
To work?
Yeah.
Comfortable nest egg?
But I think Lyda wants a bigger hat. She hasn't had a new wardrobe in years. And soon this payout is running quite low.
When you say wardrobe, is it her outfits or an actual wardrobe?
I think the outfits.
Right.
Outfits within the wardrobe.
She wants the wardrobe.
I'm making this shit up. I know. She spent the money on something. I don't know what. I'm thinking big hat.
No, I like it. I like it. Big hat, biggest hat, but also huge wardrobe to store the big hat. She wants the wardrobe from Beauty and the Beast that sings.
But this money doesn't last forever.
I'm not surprised with the hat she's going through.
And she's quickly running short.
Yeah.
She confronts this concern, with...
Right.
Well, she confronts it really straight on and takes out a second life insurance policy on
Jesus
Robert.
Christ.
Now, this one says that should either her or Robert die, then the remaining spouse would receive $2,000. So, yeah, but it's on her as well. If I should die, then Robert will get $2,000. So it's entirely fair and equal. Nothing to be concerned about there.
Fine, she's doubling down.
Yeah, in October, Robert falls ill with very similar symptoms to that of his brother.
Oh, that bout of typhoid is going around.
Yeah, nausea, cramps, diarrhea, weakness. He dies on the 12th of October.
Oh, that's not long.
Not long at all. This time the doctors, again, come looking for a cause of death. And Lyda informs them, well, she says, a day or so before he fell ill, I saw him. He was drinking from the water barrel near the barn. Mm-hmm. It was just drinking water. I mean, the animals are all around there and stuff like that. I'm sure it's contaminated. Oh. I'm sure it's got something dodgy in there. Absolutely. So, yeah, he drank from there. He fell ill.
Didn't even use a cup, was lapping at it with the horses.
At it, exactly. Head in there, just necking down this. Oh, the doctors go, oh, well, obviously, that explains it. Must be typhoid. Typhoid in the well. Typhoid in the water. Of course it is.
If we needed to say it after a long time. Doctors, the greatest poison of them all.
Yeah. Now, neighbours are now flocking to the Dooley Ranch to offer their support, their condolences for these two bereavements in a very short space of time.
Yes, I'm
Lyda
sure.
is now all alone. She's got this young daughter.
Oh, I bet they're bringing food as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, plates and plates of stuff to go in. Yeah. Now, Lorraine is just about a year old or so by now, the little baby. And Lyda is now quite vocal about her concerns for her daughter.
No, shut up. No.
About
what?
Her, obviously, her father and her uncle have both succumbed to this illness that's going around. And she's really quite worried about her daughter. Neighbours say, no, she's fine. She's a wee, strong little thing. It should all be good. Prophecy does come true.
Oh, good God.
3 weeks later, Lorraine is dead. Typhoid fever strikes again, say the doctors. Lyda is now in her mid-20s. She's about 24 by this point.
24?
Yeah. So she's widowed. Daughter also gone. Brother-in-law gone. She's managed to get about $4,500 out of these various insurance payouts.
Okay.
She sells the Dooley Ranch for another chunk of cash.
Okay.
As well, so because she inherited that from her husband.
She's not going to want to run the ranch alone.
She doesn't want to run that, so that gets sold as well. So she's now a considerably wealthy woman.
She is.
She's got a big pile of cash behind her. She goes back to live with her parents for a short time. Now, obviously, society expects her. Well, they expect a respectable amount of mourning period to take place for this, which she duly follows. Mm-hmm. Indeed. So, yeah, I mean, she's lost a husband, a brother-in-law, a daughter. So she stays at home quite a lot and, is more and receives visitors and such like who all want to, can pay their condolences. But she's not one to sit in the parlour for that long, really.
No, not dabbing her eyes.
No. Soon enough, Widow Dooley wants to get out and about. And she starts by taking regular trips into Twin Falls, into the town of Twin Falls, and visiting her favourite restaurant, or a restaurant that was to become her favourite. She's there at least twice a week. Also visiting this restaurant.
She's got to eat.
At the restaurant, she makes the acquaintance of the waiter there, a chap called William McHalf.
Right.
And this pair, they struck up quite the friendship Obviously, he's serving away at the restaurant, and they chat. As he goes, he's getting told off for chatting too much to customers.
Yeah,
and stuff
he's just trying to earn a tip.
He's just trying to earn a tip, but
And she's trying to earn the tip as well.
they after shift and things, they start meeting when he's outside of the restaurant.
No.
Yeah, and being seen around town in each other's company. Now, this is when the gossip starts, sort of thing. Now, she's only a widow of a year or so. So some people go, oh no, terrible behaviour for only a year, and she's going around town. Other people go, she's young, she's in her mid-20s.
She's experienced terrible loss.
Exactly, terrible loss. Let her get on with her life. Go and find happiness where she can. So sort of town is in sort of like a bit of a is a bit. What do? We don't know. But
What's to be done about the widow?
What's to be done with a widow, indeed. But no, eventually the town decide, fine, go, be happy.
She's going, I wasn't waiting for your permission.
No, in June 1917, the pair marry.
Okay.
Now, she's still got the proceeds from the life insurance and the sale of the Dooley Ranch, and the newlywed McCaffles moved to a ranch in Montana. Now, quite far away from anyone who knows them. None of this gossip about, oh, she should have waited a bit longer. Oh, she's lost a daughter. Oh, she's a widow.
They're all from Yorkshire.
Yeah. They've all come across on a boat.
Oh, dear, look at him. There he is.
It's a fresh start for them both.
Very nice.
It's a fresh start, new beginnings. All is going to be lovely. All is going to be lovely. Now, whether William receives Lyda's well-rehearsed insurance speech or not, we don't really know. But only literally a week or so after arriving in Montana, he takes out a $5,000 insurance policy on himself,
right,
naming Lyda as the sole beneficiary. He didn't really has a chance to really think it through that much afterwards because he's dead by October.
Oh, wow. All right.
So he arrives in June, he's dead in October.
Didn't fuck about.
Now the doctors come again. Oh, what's happened now? Tearful Lyda, tears. She describes her husband's brief suffering, cramps, vomiting, it was horrible, fatigue, fever. This time, the doctors say influenza.
Flu.
Influenza, possibly a bit of diphtheria in there as well.
Throw that in as well.
Chuck that in as well. Now, this was the beginning of the Spanish flu epidemic.
Sort
of 1917,
1918
sort of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a pandemic that killed over 50 million people globally.
She's got wind of this.
Yeah, so bodies are starting to pile up a little bit. Autopsies not quite as thorough as they ordinarily would be. If we can say influenza, then fine. Let's get it, scrub it off the list, done, bury them, on to the next one, unfortunately. So pretty much everything is listed as influenza.
Yes. Was that fever?
Well, you have typhoid fever.
Right, okay, because we haven't done the bit.
All manner of fevers.
Right, so typhoid fever and
typhoid fever,
flu fever.
flu fever.
Right.
Fevers.
Fevers are
There's
plenty.
fevers all over the place.
Just in case anyone missed that.
Yeah.
Fever. They give him fever.
They give me fever. Yeah.
I like it.
Marvellous.
There we are. Bash you over the head with the feverness. Sorry.
William is dead.
He did.
She goes along to the insurance company to collect his policy to make her claim. But she gets there and discovers the policy had lapsed.
Not lapsed.
The policy had lapsed. The days while William had been bedridden, he hadn't been able to go and pay his monthly premium. So, by the time he died, the policy was null and void.
Oh dear.
Lydia was fuming. Absolutely fuming that she hadn't planned this better.
It's like I just killed a man.
Yeah, I know. I just went all this effort.
With
if
flu.
she waited a few days, he would have gone and paid his premium. Then you kill him. Then you get your $5,000. That's all this trouble, and I get nothing out of it. She's not happy.
I'm not surprised.
It's time for a break.
I think it's time for a drink. Nick, we have our drinks.
Hello.
So, tell us more. She has a dead husband on her hand and no money.
Indeed, yes. She's just been widowed for the second time.
Damn it
now.
all.
But don't worry. Don't fret yourself. She won't be lonely for that long.
Oh, my God.
June 1919, she marries Harlem Lewis. Now, she met Harlem while in Montana, while briefly married to William. Harlem was either a car salesman or a car mechanic.
Great name.
Yeah, not sure which one, but something to do with cars. Now, this is obviously an up-and-coming industry at the time.
Automobiles.
Yeah, so you think, oh, well, lots of money to be made in that industry, absolutely. But yeah, so fantastic. Money's not being made fast enough.
Oh, no.
No.
Did he just impress her with cars?
Cars!
They're the way of the future.
Look at my cars!
Look at my cars. He owns one.
He
and
owns
she's
a
like,
car.
oh, this doesn't just make money. Oh, Christ.
Yeah, 4 weeks later, Harlem is bedridden.
Oh dear.
He finds himself bedridden. Yeah, all the symptoms we've come to know and love. Abdominal cramps, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, weakness, all the fun stuff in life.
Just dying.
Yeah.
Dying.
He dies on the 6th of July, 1919. Gastroenteritis.
What?
That's what it is.
What?
Must have eaten something dodgy.
Oh, Christ.
Must have eaten something weird, the doctors say. Another source does also list the cause of death as potamine poisoning.
Yeah.
So contaminated food.
Contaminated food.
Like Edward Dooley. After his death, Lyda collects $5,000 in life insurance and buggers off.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
She moves back to Idaho, where she starts going by the name of Anna Mae McAfee. Now, McAfee was the name of her second husband. I'm just getting these straight in my head. But so she's now using, her second husband's name. She moves to Pocatello, and there she meets a chap called Edward Mayer. Now, Edward, he's a ranch foreman, and it's love at first sight.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously used to a ranch life. She's had a ranch in Montana.
Yeah.
She had the ranch life, so she knows what the life is like of that. And Edward goes, well, I need a woman who knows what a rancher's wife needs to do. And absolutely.
But she's like, yes, just rocking up with this barrel of poison. Not this? No. Okay.
Not this? Yes.
Would you like some salmon?
They're married on the 10th of August,
Yes.
1919. The following day,
No.
Lyda visits the insurance office to take out a policy on her husband. This time she goes for $10,000.
Oh, God.
For some reason, and we don't know why, the insurance agency refuse this policy. And they say no. Some reports would have it as people are starting to get a bit suspicious.
Well,
or starting to think. But she's using various different names. And obviously there's no centralised computer system.
And she has moved.
And she's moved around from state to
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised if that had already followed her.
But, I mean, maybe it's one is enough. Like, because this is still in Montana, is it?
No, this is back in Idaho now.
Oh, no, she's gone back to Idaho.
Yeah.
Then, there has been a death
but a
before.
different city in Idaho.
Yeah.
So
But then I suppose, well, I mean, would you need to fill out the details? Would you need to, like, admit and say, like, how many husbands have you had? 3. I mean, none.
yeah. So was the amount just too much? Was she not willing to pay the premiums? We don't know. But this policy was declined, and she left rather grumpy and empty-handed. The pair still they left for their honeymoon. They went to Salt Lake City on honeymoon.
Okay, to join
Lovely.
the Mormons.
Yep, see some Mormons. And while there, Edward, he falls ill.
Oh, no.
Edward falls ill.
Oh, no.
This time he is rushed to hospital.
Ooh.
No looking after him at home this time. Doctors are initially quite convinced and quite positive about his prognosis. All is going to be well. He's a few days in hospital. He'll be right as rain, they say. Make full recovery. Lyda insists on staying by his bedside.
Right.
I will not leave my beloved husband night or day. I will watch over him. I don't need any of these nurses in here. And doctors go,
Sexy
oh,
nurses.
well, how impressive. What a devoted and lovely wife this man has. So caring about her husband.
How can you deny someone wanting to sit by their husband's
Exactly,
bedside?
and they can't say, no, go away, you crazy wife, for wanting to care for your poorly husband.
I wish they would.
I wish they would, but they don't. And he starts getting worse. He starts getting worse and worse, and doctors are like, oh, I don't know what's going on. What's going on? And they don't know how to stop this decline.
What's the common denominator here?
Edward Mayer dies on the 7th of September in hospital. Now, an unexplained death in hospital is rather different and more difficult to explain away, really. So the hospital now has to
You
go,
are now in someone's
why
care.
has this man died? So they now perform a post-mortem. Yes, so they don't just take, oh no, he ate some weird water from a well, and they go, oh, that explains it. They go, no, he was in hospital. Everything was measured, and we know where his food came from. So something went right. Post-mortem time.
His regular doctor comes in and just goes, I know what this was. Witches.
Witches, mainly witches. Post-mortem. Lo and behold, tests reveal ungodly amounts of arsenic.
Arsenic! Arsenic alarm! Arsenic alarm! Arsenic alarm! Oh, people, you've been waiting for it.
We were waiting for that one.
Waiting for it. Big old bucket of arsenic.
Big old bag of arsenic just in there.
just like hunched over her shoulder, like Krampus, like creeping along.
So doctors go, it's not normally like that. There's not normally this much arsenic in people, is there? No? don't think so.
They have a line of consultants go, is there normally this much
Is there
arsenic?
not this much arsenic in people?
There's not, but I'd like to go to my learned colleague. I don't think there is. No,
Yeah.
you learned colleague at the end. No, there fucking isn't, for God's sake.
So they determine that this is rather suspicious. This is rather suspicious. This one.
They twiddle
And
their moustaches.
They alert the authorities. They alert some
Yay.
detectives. There's maybe some shenanigans going on here. They want to have a word with Lydia, and they visit where she's meant to be staying. She's gone. Lydia has done a runner.
She's fled.
She's disappeared.
Fled into the night.
Now, while this has all been going on, unbeknownst to Lyda, back in Idaho, someone had been keeping an eye on her from afar. Someone had been keeping tabs. Earl Dooley.
Earl Dooley.
Now,
Oh,
Earl is a relative
Right.
of her first husband and Robert and Edward, the
Yes,
husband
yes,
and brother-in-law. And obviously, when his relatives had passed away, he was shocked and horrified and appalled at what a tragedy. But he had heard rumours of, yes, the unfortunate events that had followed Lyda
how
throughout her
tragic.
life. How very tragic this all seems to be. And he thought, he was just a suspicious character by nature. We don't really know, but he thought something needs looking into here. Something might be slightly awry.
Interesting.
So he goes and he starts digging into the deaths of these other husbands as well, because there are two other husbands by this point. And he learns that the official cause, while the official cause of death varies, so you've got Potomian poisoning, you've got typhoid fever, you've got gastroenteritis. The symptoms for those illnesses are all remarkably similar. They have very, very common traits. And isn't it more likely if the symptoms are all the same, then the cause may well be the same for all of them? So he goes to a friend who is the county prosecutor, a chap called Frank Stephen. And he, sort of tells of his concern and what he's discovered. And Frank also thinks, that's a bit weird. That's a bit odd. So we've got
odd.
3 husbands and a brother-in-law, all with suffering exactly the same symptoms, all with insurance policies. What's going on there? And he orders Robert and Edward to be exhumed.
Nice.
They were, and of course, barrels of arsenic.
Open them up, skull and crossbones come out in a big cloud.
It's just a big old cloud stuffed to the gills with arsenic.
They look perfect.
These two, but they are incredibly well preserved. Now, Frank goes, well, that's not normal.
That tain't right.
That tain't right.
Tain't right.
So he issues an arrest warrant for Lyda. Now, he is unaware that she's currently on the run.
Yeah. She's scarpered.
From detectives looking into the death of her most recent husband. A Deputy Sheriff, Virgil Ormsby.
Oh, nice.
He is sent to Lydia's home, and she's not there, but he searches the place.
Aha.
He searches the place, and he finds a barrel. A barrel containing...
Is she in it?
She's not in it. What is in there is a massive stack of fly papers.
Fly paper.
And water. So these fly papers infuse
soaking
and
in
soaking
water.
Yeah, so
My.
fly papers infused with arsenic, soaking in water to get the deadly toxins out.
Deadly toxins.
And
Angels
she's,
of Nug.
she's got a massive barrel of this just sitting just in the garden.
Yeah.
People go, oh, that's a bit weird. That's not normally where I keep my fly paper.
Normally have it to attract flies.
Yeah. So with this evidence, the bodies then of William McAfee and Harlan Lewis, the husbands 2 and 3, and also infant Lorraine, are now exhumed. 2 men found to contain lethal quantities of arsenic. The tests on Lorraine are inconclusive.
Yeah.
It's not known for sure how little Lorraine
She's so young, though.
has passed away. Yeah, she's less than she's about a year old, 13, 14 months at this time.
Devastating. I mean, all of it's horrible, but just Jesus.
And it would not be unusual for infant death at that time. Quite a unfortunately common thing. But whether her mother had a hand in it, we just don't know. Finally, in May 1921, this is 8 months after Ed Mayer's murder, police track down Lyda. She's in Honolulu, in Hawaii.
Oh, right. Okay.
She's married to husband number 5 by this point, a naval officer named Paul Southard, which is where she get her common surname from. Paul absolutely refuses to believe the charges against his wife.
Of course.
She would never do such a thing.
She's mild as a lamb.
Yes, she had asked me to take out an insurance policy.
I mean,
when we were first married, but he had actually refused because he was in the Navy. he had certain death benefits provided by the government. And he was convinced, well, no, those are perfectly acceptable. So if I were to die in service, whatever, you still get my pension and what have you, that's enough. I'm not getting life insurance, I'm not paying for that.
She's like,
Really? So
in service, you say?
Whether she was just trying to soften him up, and so waiting a bit longer to try and get that insurance policy or what, but she hadn't struck by the time the authorities tracked her down. And yeah, she is returned to Idaho, and she stands trial for the murder of husband number 4, Ed Mayer. Now, she's not charged for the other deaths.
Yeah, quite common. You're
exactly.
going to go with one.
You're going to go with one, and they go with the most recent one.
Strongest
evidence. They go with the one which has got the post-mortem straight after death.
Yes.
No one saying, well, the arsenic was in the ground and it seeped into the bodies and all this sort of nonsense. Straight hospital bed to the pathology. We know where the arsenic came from. So, yeah, so they go with that death.
At this stage, 1920s now, aren't we? They've learned.
Yeah, so, 21. Yeah,
1921. Yeah.
Also, yeah, so her trial begins in October 21. It lasts for 6 weeks.
Ooh.
The courtroom is packed every single day. Press, spectators, everyone wants to get sight of Lyda. She's named Lady Bluebeard.
Nice.
In the press. She's Lady Bluebeard.
I like her.
Flypaper Lyda.
Shit.
is another one that the press sort of splash about the headlines.
That's still, like, every time when they sort of, like, put stuff together, I do think of Bart in The Simpsons, like, stupidly said blabbermouth. like Flypaper Lyda. There we are. That's it.
That's it.
That'll do. Lady Bluebeard. Wonderful.
Lady
evocative,
Bluebeard.
Scary.
Yeah. In the end, she is found guilty. Second-degree murder. Second-degree murder.
Okay.
And she is sentenced to 10 years to life imprisonment.
10 years to life, optional.
10 years to life, yeah. How it's decided, where it goes in there, I'm not entirely sure. After her conviction, husband number 5, Paul Southard, files for divorce. Probably now realising how fucking lucky he has been.
I mean,
if he had said yes to that insurance policy, he would have been out of it by now.
I mean, that was basically White Lotus about to happen.
He's going, thank God for that.
Good Lord.
Lyda is locked up in Old Idaho State Penitentiary. She serves much of her sentence model prisoner until the 4th of May 1931. So around 10 years or so, 9 years after her initial incarceration, she escapes. She flees. She legs it. She's out of there.
How?
I don't know. Now, whether she was on some sort of, I don't know how she gets out. Whether it was an organised sort of trip to somewhere and she flees. I can't imagine she tunneled out or anything like that. Let's not speculate.
Let's just, on this occasion, go that she threw down one of those kind of like firebomb kind of things and disappeared.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, 1931, she's out. She's
81?
no longer, 1931. 1931, she's out. She's no longer
Again, it sounds like you're saying 81.
I'm saying 31.
Well, it sounds like 81.
Well, it's not.
Well, just say it slowly.
Get new ears. May 1931.
Thank you.
She escapes. She's gone. She is no longer imprisoned. She runs straight into the arms of David Minton. David Minton is a convict who was also in the prison at the same time. Had been released.
Love story.
Had been released slightly earlier than her. She had escaped to be with her one true love, dear old David.
Interesting. So mixed prison, or I must have met him at some point.
Must have met him at some point. Whether
across the yard,
across the yard or something.
Love you.
Yeah, their eyes met across the yard or something. She said, "No, David, he's the one for me. He's the one for me."
So she shacked up with him.
So now she's shacked up with David. He doesn't say shacked up with David for too long.
Oh, good Lord!
He gets home one day, she's gone.
Oh,
she's scarpered yet again. He is seriously in love. He is seriously, smitten by Lyda, and he does everything he can to try and track her down. Where the hell has she gone? And eventually, after several months, he manages to track her down to Topeka in Kansas, where she had already met and married husband number 6.
Oh my God!
A chap called Harry Whitlock. Now, Harry himself was a recent widower, and he initially had hired Lyda as a housekeeper.
Comforting.
Yes, exactly. She had quickly comforted her way all the way into Harry's bed and into his will and into his life insurance policies.
That is some good comforting.
Yeah, there's a lot of comforting going on there. She worked for that one. David, when he discovers this, that she's now married to someone else, is absolutely livid. About Lyda running off. And in his revenge, he alerts the authorities as to where she is. This escaped convict is now shacked up in Topeka under the name Lyda Milton.
I'd like to say petty, but not really petty. It's also like,
Yeah.
well, fuck you, actually. Yeah.
So she, with this information, she is quickly recaptured. And of course, I mean, Harry is like, my God, how dare you take my wife to prison?
Don't take my wife.
She is an escaped convict, man.
She never said
She's
that.
killed many people. No, not my wife. My wife's lovely.
Oh, can you imagine, though? I mean, like, no, but she's as gentle as a lamb.
Yeah. She's now back in prison. And you would think that prison staff would be on high alert around
Oh, for God's sake,
Lyda
don't
now.
say that she escapes again. Don't.
She doesn't escape again, but she switches on the charm with the prison governor.
The governor.
The governor of the prison, and she manages, how she does it, I don't know. She manages to wangle particularly special privileges out of the governor.
I think we all know how she does it.
Yeah. I didn't want to make this assumption, but yes, I think we probably do. She's allowed out on day trips to visit a local resort when she wants to.
Fair enough.
Yeah, she's allowed to go out and visit. Her mother's sick. She's allowed to go out, spend a few days with her mother, tend to her because she's a bit sick. So you go out
People
and look
would
after your
get
mother.
compassionate leave.
Get compassionate
Yeah,
leave.
yeah.
On a couple of occasions, she borrowed a car from the prison
I
and
forgot. People don't get compassionate car.
and went into town to the cinema to watch a film, and then came back again.
It's good for her for coming back.
So she
coming
always came back. Absolutely.
Someone had to be with her, though. That's the thing. Probably the governor.
Yeah, but no one was. No, she was just allowed. Off you
allowed to go.
Just off you go. Have a lovely day. We'll see you when you come back.
Someone was with her.
A random prison inspection captured this, and they sort of like, we're doing a roll call of everyone. Where's Lyda? Where's that? Oh, she's gone to the pictures. She's not here. She's gone to the pictures
Wizard
today.
of Oz.
There's meant to be a prison. The governor is forced to resign.
Oh my
From
God!
his-
I'm not
his-
surprised.
yeah.
I'm surprised how she survived in that prison.
He's forced to resign, and Lydia's back in prison now. Full rules: you can't go out when you want to go out.
She ain't gonna have a good time.
She is eventually paroled in October 1941, so a further 10 years or so.
20 years in. -ish.
Yep, she's out. She moves to Salt Lake City, where she lives the remainder of her life completely innocuously, anonymously.
As far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know, until she dies there on the 5th of January 1958.
Wow.
The story of Lyda Trueblood, Lyda Southard, Lyda, many other names.
Many names. Whoa! What a story.
So there we go.
What a great story.
We
What
haven't
a
done that one
great
before.
Sorry?
We haven't done that one before. I'm sure we
I
haven't.
am absolutely positive we haven't done that
Good.
before. The salmon we've referenced somewhere. Anytime we say salmon, we go the salmon mousse. It sounds very familiar to lots of things that we've done because there's fly paper.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
it's a woman killing multiple husbands. Oh, great story though. Great story. Absolutely went for it.
Absolutely.
went for
Yeah,
it.
just went for it. Going, I am an attractive woman. I can charm people.
I'm gonna say
I'm
it.
going to go for it.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, guys. Redheads. Oh, you
Get away with
bastards.
murder.
You can, you sexy bastards. Flame head and blue eyed. She was probably a hag. I don't know.
Well, she had her ways.
she can. I mean, to convince that many husbands.
Yeah.
To have people who were so enamored with her and followed her across the country, one of the last ones, to try and track her down. The governor of the prison, was taken in by her, so she had a way with words or a way with something.
She has skills, that lady.
She had skills. And also, you can't just, I mean, with the best one in the world, fair play if you've got skills, use them, but in that sense. But you don't just rock up and go, here's my skills. You need to have some conversation beforehand, generally.
You'd have
If
a
you're
bit
the
of a chat.
governor of a prison, you'd be like, well, no, actually, fine. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I'm the fool here. And she's like, no, I'm going to get right to it.
You've not met many men before, have you?
I have, but often the quiet, alluring
Yes,
type
the nice ones.
makes them go, no, I love you. So, yeah, well, who knows? But yeah, just the immediately. I wonder what prompted it.
Well,
What
indeed.
started her going husband and the brother?
Because there's no
Something has
evidence
switched there, hasn't it?
that she would ever had any sort of deprivation or anything like that.
Guess we
Or
wouldn't know.
well, yeah, I mean, there's no. I've read about, well, probably good 10 articles or so, and there's nothing that mentioned anything about either the farms failing, them being particularly poor, or having to struggle for money or anything like that. Yeah, no, they certainly weren't rich, but they were fine. But from what I can see, so
having this ranch, having the husband and the brother,
what it was that inspired, I need that more money. But then also, I mean, there were a couple of ones where she didn't get the insurance policy. She didn't get the insurance policy. You kill them fucking anyway.
Yeah,
I didn't get my $10,000 insurance policy. It was denied.
Yeah,
but I'll kill him.
Yeah, true.
Because then I can move on to the next one.
Move on to the next one. People, life is expendable.
Yeah.
And we can't discount, again, we make it too dark. It's perfectly possible. We don't know what life was like with her husband and her brother-in-law in that place. We don't know what happened to make her to be very mercenary, to be like that. But then the rest of her life is just that everyone has a value to them. Everyone has a value. And continue to do that. Continue to do that over and over and over again for greater financial gain. And her child, it seems.
Yeah.
And her child.
Yeah, so some reports put it out
because like the child had
she definitely was involved in that. Other people go, no, we don't know. It was entirely natural.
The child had a policy.
There was no policy on the child.
There was no policy.
No, some people think it was just an inconvenience. How would it be easier to find the next husband with a year-old child in tow, sort of thing? Yeah. Is it going to be easier if I'm unencumbered in that way,
or is it just again a coincidence,
or is it just entirely natural? Horrible illness, entirely natural. It's what happened.
Yeah,
we don't know.
You can go round in circles with that, But in the middle of it, if someone dies of natural causes, you're always going to go well. But also, you can turn around and go like, oh no, it was definitely natural causes, because that's horrific to think about. Yeah. Apart from all the murdering that she's done throughout her life. Oh, a good story, and. Yeah, it's always nice when all because the doctors aren't going to share notes because they're in different states.
They're completely different. Of course there's no central system that they can Google, they can search for patients or whatever.
And credit to a lot of the American poisoners that we've covered, because they do move state. A lot of the cases they move, whereas in the English ones. In London, you go like, oh, we're just going to stay in London and go to that street over there, basically, because it's not big. It's not big comparison. Or they go, you know what, we'll go to Manchester. Yeah. And then Scotland Yard like, well, we can still contact you.
I can still, yes.
We can see you.
I can see you in Manchester. Hi.
Equivalent of, like, it's still not as far as you would cross Texas. Okay, fine. Whatever. Oh, good story. Well, what do you think, people? What do you think of Lyda and her many, many husbands, her many insurance policies, her many excuses, and the many fevers her husband succumbed to?
Many fevers.
Also, the salmon.
The salmon.
You canned salmon, did you? Yes. What do you think Lyda's motives might have been? Why did she start killing? Was it just that she got wind of insurance policies and thought, I want a piece of that? Or what else? What else?
Tell me.
What did she do in that jail? Don't tell us that.
That I don't need to know.
Tell us what you think. Jump on the comments of this episode. Share your thoughts, your feelings, your theories. But also, most importantly, you should probably mix up. Giving Me Fever is a terrible name.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Just Fever would have been better.
Sorry.
It's no. Did you name it?
No.
No, you didn't. Okay, fine. Why are you taking it so personally then? It's not you. You'll know when I'm shouting at you, Nick. I always say that to people. You'll know when I'm angry. Make an aviation. Yeah. Save yourself some ingredients.
Who knows? With lavender, it might be a revelation.
No, it won't.
Probably not.
I bet you. $5.
No.
No, you know I'm right.
No. Well, let's not go too far.
Well, put money on it, bitch. People do try at home if you've got lavender. Is it lavender liqueur or syrup?
I believe this is syrup is required.
So it's a syrup, alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
I can't imagine it make a huge amount of difference.
If anyone's got lavender, you have the rest of the ingredients. Please mix this up and message us. Tell us if it makes any difference. What do you think? Is it devastating? Can you taste the mezcal in it? Because really, make an aviation. Yeah. Because you're wasting, in our opinion, some good mezcal, some tonic, some triple sec, to be honest. Make something else. But it's still fine.
It's perfectly fine, but
we drank it.
We drank it.
It just seems weird. Do send us pictures of any cocktails you are enjoying around the world. Preferably share them on Instagram on your own channels, tag us in it, and then we'll reshare them. And send us suggestions of more stories that we can be covering in the future. You can join us on Patreon to get more episodes every single week. Send us messages if you ever want a shout out on the show. Also, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes and anywhere that you listen to your podcast, because it massively helps this show, and also do that for any other podcast you listen to. Thanks for listening, guys. We have been the people inside the Poisoner's Cabinet. We will see you next week. And remember, your loved ones are trying to kill you.